Vaheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji Ki Fateh. Welcome to this segment of Khoj Gurbani, a-sabad-a-day. Our recitation today is from Mahalla Chotha Gaudi Purbi. Har Dayal Daya Prabh Kini, mere man tan mukh har boli. Gurmukh rang bhaya at gooda, हर रंग पीनी मेरी चोली. अपने हर प्रभ की हाँ गोली, जब हम हर सेती मन मान्या. कर दीनो जगत सब गोल अमोली. रहाओ करहो विवेक संत जन भाई, खोजे हृदय देख टंडोली. हर हर रूप सब जोत सबाई, हर निकट वसै हर कोली. हर हर निकट वसे सब जग कै, अपरंपर पुरख अतोली. हर हर प्रगट कियो गुर पूरे, सिर विचों गुर पह मोली. हर जी अंतर बाहर तुम सरनागत, तुम वड पुरख वडोली. जन नानक अनदिन हर गुण गावै, मिल सतगुरु गुरु विचोली. Again, a relatively short passage, but here speaking of the experience of the self, the inner self, through the auspices of the Guru. Har Dayal Daya Prabh Kini, the compassionate Har had mercy on me, and mere man tan mukh har boli, bestowed me with its wisdom, and my mind, body and intellect now brims with the Har self. Man, tan, mukh. Mukh is the face. Man tan refers to the mind-body complex. And even though the word is mukh, what the Guru is saying is that I now utter the name of Har, and the wisdom of the Har has permeated into my mind-body. Gurmukh rang bhaya at gooda, har rang pini meri choli. And here's how it happened. Through devotion to Gur wisdom, Gurmukh rang bhaya, that's devotion, my being was soaked, pini meri choli, and soaked with deep love for the herself. At gooda har rang. So, becoming Guru-faced, Guru-guided, Gurmukh, turning your face literally to the Gurmukh, to the Gur. That is the way that it happens. And then in the Rahao, Apne har prabh ki hau goli, I am a slave to the wisdom of the Har self. Jab hum har seti man manya, kar dino jagat sab gol amoli. When my mind was absorbed or fixed on the Har self, the world was placed at my service. And gol amoli could be read as the priceless gift of laying the world at one's feet, or the fact that this gift is without measure. In any event, the point being made is that you really have to hitch yourself to the wisdom of the Har self. Because knowing the Har self is really knowing the wisdom of herself, the knowledge. Self-realization is really what is meant by I'm a slave to the herself. And what the Guru is saying is that once you're hitched to that knowledge, then Kar dino jagat sab gol amoli. You become connected with the innate creativity of the universe. And therefore, you're able to engage with the universe in a more harmonious and productive way at every level and at every moment. You're no longer biased in your thinking because you're working from the perspective of wisdom, innate wisdom, which is already in us. And so the point is that wisdom is never wrong because it is not biased, it is not prejudiced. If you think about it, we normally operate out of memory, the memory of our conditioning. When presented with a given situation, we are more often than not reacting based on existing biases. And that is what the Guru is telling you. Break through that bias. Approach every situation afresh, without bias, without judgment. So therefore, it calls for living in the moment, and it involves intuitive awareness. Now, Gurmat is very emphatic about developing this faculty. So if I were to put it in everyday parlance, I would say that we are too accustomed to and too well trained in using the left hemisphere of the brain, which is analytical, cognitive, is engaged in a sort of recursive way with knowledge. But what we need to do is to operate out of a whole mind. The right side is not developed as much, which is the center of our intuition, empathy, aesthetics, emotional centers. We are not very familiar with because we've not been trained. The Guru trains you to do that because, according to Gurmat, intuitive knowledge is the purest form of knowledge that you could have. And the Gurus want us to train ourselves so that we can trust that knowledge more than we can trust the senses. Because, as you know, the senses are not very reliable. So therefore, there are these other faculties that have to be developed as well. And here the Guru speaks about it in terms of Karho Bibek Sant Jan Pai Khoj Hirday Dekh Tandoli. My brethren, he says, in the company of those who are dedicated, who are devoted, cultivate discriminating intelligence. Karo Bibek, in the company of the Santajan. And Khoj Hirday, deep search within. Dekh Tandoli, you will find that the Herself is there. What will you find? Har Roop Sab Jot Sab hai. You will find that the Herself permeates in all visible forms, that it is as the light or the divine spirit within these forms. It is the animating spirit that gives all forms their shape, their regularity, and keeps them going. And you will also discover that Har Nikat Vasai, Har Koli, that the Har is present and near everyone. And he goes on to say, Har Har Nikat Vase Sab Jag Kai Aparampar Purukh Atoli. That indwelling herself is boundless, is beyond measure, but it is present everywhere. हर हर प्रगट कियो गुर पूरै, sir vechyo gur peh moli. There you go. Here is the condition. The Har Self is made manifest by the primordial Guru, the Guru principle, knowledge. When we dedicate ourselves to the Gur enlightener, to Gur wisdom, we can then begin to perceive what the senses cannot see, what the senses cannot grasp. So it is a capacity that we have to develop. It's an insight. You're then acting out of insight. And harji antar bahar tum. So, or revered Har, antar bahar tum. You are the indweller, and you are permeated in everything outside as well. Tum saranagat. I am surrendering to you. I have come to surrender to you. Tum vad purkh vadoli. You are the supreme master. Purkh, you are the universal consciousness. So therefore, I take refuge with you. The seeker Nanak sings praise to the Har in the company of the Satgur, who is the intermediary. Jana Nanak andan har gun gave, mil Satgur gur vicholi. The gur is the vichola, the intermediary. And what is the gur? It is spiritual wisdom. So you don't need a person as a vichola, you need the wisdom of the gur as a vichola. On that note, Waheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Waheguru Ji Ki Fateh.